I press the button, it will go down the gears, you see.
Wow. Holy. We don't have one Koenigsegg, we don't have two Koenigseggs, but we have three Koenigseggs in the ammo studio today. They're here to get cleaned and detailed before heading down to Manhattan for a photo shoot. Now, before we head down there, we're gonna take these cars for a ride. Today on this episode of Drive and Protect. All right, Christopher, it's been a long time. The last time I saw you, we did the Jesko, the Regera, and then the CC850, but now you've brought me three new cars. What do we have?
The holy trinity of fast cars in the world.
Indeed.
This car set the 80-year-old world record on public highway with the speed 277.9 miles an hour. So you're going two different directions and they take the average speed over 1 mile.
So it's more than 277, right?
Yes, so in one direction it was a bit over 280 and the other one was a little bit slower.
Oh,
so
probably
you
like
take
wind or something or whatever.
Exactly,
Really?
and you take the average then. After that, we have this Jesko, that's like the follow-up on the Agera.
Yeah.
So the Jesko, we bumped up the horsepower to 1,600 from the 1,360. And this one you can see has like a lot less wind resistance, it's more slippery.
Yeah.
So this one we anticipate a lot of higher speeds. So when we do testing for that.
Got it.
Right now this one has a world record in acceleration from 0 to 400 kilometers an hour back to zero. That's approximately 0 to 250 miles an hour back to zero.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really fast. But the Jesko here, which is homage to Christian's father, is named Jesko.
Yeah.
This car, we also have another version, it's called the Attack, with a lot of downforce. It's more track oriented, but still street legal, of course.
Sure.
But this one then is made to go higher speeds. So it's like two different versions you can spec when you order the car. And then over here, we have the Regera, which had the world record up till about a month ago when we took it with our Jesko.
Oh.
But the cool thing about this doesn't even have a gearbox. So this is a hybrid V8 with 3 electric motors. And because it has so much torque and so much power, we don't need a gearbox in this. It's instantaneously power in this one.
Well, I had one question for you. If you come down here, the things that I love about Koenigsegg, if you can see on the caliper, there's like a temperature gauge there.
Yes.
And is this for like a rock guard or something?
Yes, exactly. So small stone chips, so they don't get stuck between the caliper and the rim, and also scratch everything up.
Yeah.
And also, if you drive in snow, it removes the snow from the rim, because if you have a lot of snow inside of the rim, you get a lot of unbalance.
Sure.
Yeah. And also these temperature tapes we use everywhere on the car, because this is our prototype car. We're doing all the research and
Proto
testing.
1 right there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing all the testing, and we need to know all the temperatures everywhere, because when you do a lot of hard braking from high speeds, of course the brake's going to be super, super hot.
Yeah.
And on the inside, you can see it reflects here. There's gold, real gold on the inside to reflect the heat back onto from the rims.
Really?
Yeah, so that's on all the cars.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so I got my plan here. I'm gonna wash these things up. We're going to polish them, put some coating on them, and you guys are gonna look fantastic for your show later on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're the man.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the buckets now full, then pre-rinse to remove heavy or obvious dirt. Again, because this is a hypercar, there's grills and grates and louvers and other areas that trap dust, dirt, and pebbles. Next, soak the paint in foam and boost and let it soak for about 3 to 5 minutes before power washing again. After the wheels are cleaned, then I refoamed the paint, and then at this point I agitated with the blue wash towel. After the very delicate wash, then rinse the soap off the paint and focus on the door jambs and the tight spots with your power washer before drying with hydrate and compressed air. Squirt hydrate on a damp microfiber towel. You're going to notice that it's quite thick. It's a little bit thicker than, let's say, spray wax. This is totally normal. Then dry the paint with hydrate on the towel. This acts as a lubricant between the towel and your paint surface to avoid scratching during the drying process, and it also leaves behind protection as well. The Mini Woolly is a lifesaver on these cars because the space between the calipers and the rims are so close that the big ones don't fit. This mini one is perfect. I repeated this process on all three cars, including the massive and gorgeous engine bays. Okay, now at this point, every single car has been washed and dried. They look absolutely fantastic. We're gonna go in and start polishing them. But because these are Koenigseggs and because they drive at 200 miles an hour or whatever it is, they all have clear bras on them. So when we talk about polishing clear bra, it can be a little bit on the tricky side. What we're gonna use is a waffle pad with exfoliate. You wanna use a very light polish. The reason why we like doing that is because it rejuvenates the clear bra itself. So if there's, let's say, a lot of road tar or rubber from especially these tires, or maybe a bug embedded itself, it's a great way of cleaning clear bra. On the bad side would be, let's say, sanding or heavy compounding clear bra. You don't necessarily want to do that because that's going to heat up the glue behind the clear bra. So on all three of these, we're going to do a very light polish. After that polish, we're going to install Reflex Pro 2. This thing's going to look absolutely phenomenal. I'm using a straight cut waffle pad and exfoliate polish on speed 3 to deep clean the clear bra before installing Reflex Pro 2 coating.
All right, so here's a perfect example. You can see there is a bug splatter here, but it's actually etched itself a little bit into the clear bra. And so when we're really polishing clear bra, we're sort of just cleaning it very deeply. And this is a prime example. It didn't come off with the wash, but I can guarantee you it's gonna come off right now. Same another spot right here, actually. And another spot right there. Totally makes sense. These cars are driven at wild, here's another spot there. This is just a great way to really exfoliate, no pun intended, and just clean out the clear bra and have it ready to accept the coating right afterwards. And you're gonna get that extra 4 to 5% pop, which is critical in a car like this.
Since I was a kid, my dream was to work on the world's most beautiful cars, and Koenigseggs are it. And to have 3 of them in my studio at once is just a dream come true. Anyhow, with the clear bra now rejuvenated, I applied Reflex Pro 2 coating to the surface for 1 to 2 years of protection and incredible depth and shine on the paint. At the speeds these cars can reach, the coating no doubt will be self-cleaning should it ever get caught in the rain. Now for the wheels, I'm using Gillette Pro with a higher heat resistance to combat the incredibly hot rotors and calipers at top speed. With both coatings now curing, I focused on the interior, which was understandably greasy from body oils or sweat. Over 270 miles an hour in a car is bound to do that to you, which I found out later in the day. Anyhow, the center console, the footwells, the pedals, the steering wheel, and the seats needed some love for sure. Clean leather should look somewhat matte or low luster at least, compared to greasy or oily surfaces that have a shine, and is probably the most overlooked cleaning on the interior of most any car, no less a hypercar. The irony, though, is it's really easy to clean leather seats. For the most part, spray ammo lather on there, let it sit for a second, then use an interior brush, create some lather or an upholstery brush, and then scoop it up with a clean and dry microfiber towel, and it'll look fantastic in just a minute or two. For the carpets, I used shag fabric cleaner in a wooden upholstery brush with short boar hairs to lift the dirt before blowing it away with a compressed air diffuser. After all 3 car interiors were clean, then I added silk leather balm to the seats to re-moisturize the hide and to add some UV protection. Remember to buff to a matte finish after about 30 minutes of curing on the leather. Finally, I applied mud tire dressing for a deep satin finish with no sling, and then applied the official Ammo Studio badge in the door frames, and they were ready for the dance. But just about then,
Hey, come on in.
Danbury's mayor actually visited my studio after seeing Instagram posts all over town.
If you crash, by the way, you vaporize, so it doesn't really matter. It's not gonna hurt.
This is Danbury's 32nd mayor, Roberto Alves, born and raised in Danbury and sitting in the record holder Jesko before they headed down to New York City later that evening. Afterwards, the crew signed my wall of fame in the studio, even my main man, Jackson. All right, now that we got all three cars cleaned and coated, it's time to take them for a ride. But first, we needed to get some gas.
So you take any moment you can while you have Koenigseggs. We parked in front of the 7-Eleven and we realized this might be the greatest shot ever. 2 world record cars in front of the Danbury 7-Eleven. If you're watching 7-Eleven, I better get a free Slurpee for this. That's the greatest picture ever.
Yeah, that's
All right, Tim, what are we in right now? Because it sounds amazing.
We are in the 2017 Agera RS.
It is incredibly loud in here.
Very loud in here.
Wow, and then what was the top speed?
Top speed on this was actually 285 with an average speed of 277.9 miles an hour.
Unreal.
You've got some of these other manufacturers breaking speed records, but they're breaking them on their own private track.
Yeah.
It's like saying you run a marathon except you're in a gym.
Yeah.
On a treadmill, you know what I mean?
Downhill.
Downhill, exactly. But it's not the same. Terrain can change, weather, all that stuff has to be perfect.
Okay, so I just went in the RS.
Yep.
What makes this one special compared to that?
So this one has a new light-speed transmission. You can go from any gear to any gear like practically instantly. So see, we're already up to 9th gear. You can hardly change.
It feels much smoother and much quieter for sure. And there's definitely way more light.
Yeah. Then you put into manual mode here. As soon as I press the button, it will go down the gears, you see.
Wow. Holy. Oh my God. Oh. That was so fast.
So it will stick in that gear you have all the time until you just, then it goes instantly.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
See? How you do?
I love that. Oh yeah, you see that there?
Oh, sorry.
That is super cool. All right, Mike, so what are we driving now?
We were driving the Regera.
And so ultimately this one is different than the RS because this has a single, what is it, single gearbox or what?
Yes.
How do they describe it? So you're not like shifting anything and there's no levers. I mean, you do have like a kind of PDK thing going on over here, but there's no gears, right?
Correct.
Yeah, this feels, as weird as it sounds, more livable, more tame compared to the full-on race car that I was like, Tim, I can't hear anything you're saying kind of thing. So much more luxurious, I feel like, much more, it's still loud, I'm not gonna lie. It's like very aggressive in here, but compared to the other ones,
this feels like, all right, you know what? I can take an hour and a half drive to, you know, wine country or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is cool. Well guys, there you have it. We cleaned and detailed 3 separate Koenigseggs, each its own world record holder. Completely insane. Then we got to drive them. It's been a dream come true. Big thank you to Christian Von Koenigsegg, Christian, Tim, and Mike for letting us use their cars. As always guys, thanks for watching and see you next week. Enjoy.